Hi, everybody. It's Kimberly from the alumni team at the University of Wolverhampton. I'm here today just to present my round for the Mayoral quiz, which is taking place this evening. I hope you enjoy it. We did a film round that focuses on famous mayors from film and television history. There's a wonderful PowerPoint that I've put together that'll be played for you, followed by the answers. So I do hope you enjoy it. Thank you once again to the mayor and consort, Mr. and Mrs. Dark, for including me. And thank you to all of you for participating. And hope to see you all soon. Thanks. Bye.
Hi, Radzi here. I hope you're having a fun evening. Now this round, 10 questions, most of them skew sport, but the key to this, I'm going to ask you questions back to back with not an awful lot of time to think about them. I'll go through them once, briefly a second time, and then it's over to you to have your fingers crossed. Okay, pens at the ready. Question number 1. In what year did Muhammad Ali win the Rumble in the Jungle? That's in what year did Muhammad Ali win the Rumble in the Jungle? Question number 2. Gary Lineker won the Golden Boot in the 1986 World Cup for scoring how many goals? He won the Golden Boot for scoring how many goals? Question number 3. What nickname, I love this question by the way, did Eric Musambani from Equatorial Guinea have for competing in the Sydney Olympics? What nickname did Eric Musambani from Equatorial Guinea have whilst he was competing at the Sydney Olympics? Question 4. Who has won more snooker ranking titles? Ronnie O'Sullivan, Steve Hendry, or Ray Reardon? Who has won more ranking titles? Ronnie, Steve, or Ray? Question number 5. In World's Strongest Man, which Brit has won the most World's Strongest Man titles? Of all the Brits in World's Strongest Man, which Brit has won the most titles? Question number 6. Name Britain's greatest ever winter Olympian. Name Britain's greatest ever winter Olympian. Question number 7. Which Brit has won the most tennis Grand Slams? Is it A, Andy Murray, B, Jamie Murray, or C, Fred Perry? Which Brits won the most Grand Slams? Andy, Jamie, or Fred? Question number 8. In the greatest cartoon of all time, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which turtle wore red? Was it Leonardo, Raphael, Donatello, or Michelangelo? Which Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle wore a red bandana? Leonardo, Raphael, Donatello, and Michelangelo. Question number 9. Which wrestler had the moniker the 8th wonder of the world? Which wrestler had the moniker the 8th wonder of the world? And finally, what is the actual first name of the British Prime Minister? What's the actual first name of the British Prime Minister? So 1 to 10, very quickly. In what year did Muhammad Ali win the Rumble in the Jungle? Gary Lineker won the Golden Boot in the World Cup of 1986 for scoring how many goals? Question number 3. What nickname did Eric Musambani from Equatorial Guinea have whilst competing at the Sydney Olympics? Who has won more ranking titles? Ronnie O'Sullivan, Stephen Hendry, or Ray Reardon? Question number 5. In World's Strongest Man, which Brit has won the world's most WSM titles? For clarity, in World's Strongest Man, which Brit has won the most WSM titles? Question number 6. Name Britain's greatest ever Winter Olympian. Question number 7. Which Brit has won the most tennis Grand Slams? Andy Murray, Jamie Murray, or Fred Perry? Question number 8. In the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which turtle wore red? Was it Leonardo, Raphael, Michelangelo, or Donatello? Which wrestler had the moniker, it's so difficult to say these answers by the way, had the moniker the 8th wonder of the world? And finally, what is the real first name of the British Prime Minister? If you get anywhere, I would say from 6 onwards, I salute you. If you get the turtles question correct, I love you. If you get the wrestling question correct, I adore you. If you get anything more than 7, I salute you. Good luck. So the answers are question 1, 1974. Question 2 is 6. 3 is Eric the Eel. 4 is Ronnie O'Sullivan. 5 is Jeff Capes. 6 is Lizzie Arnold. 7 is Fred Perry. 8 is Raphael. 9 is Andre the Giant. And 10 is Alexander.
Hey folks, Dean Friedman here, and pleased to be contributing my 10 questions and 10 answers to the Mayor of Wolverhampton's charity quiz. So here is my question number 1, which is, in December of 1978, during my first UK tour, there was a top 10 UK hit blasting all over the radio that involved a telephone answering machine and a tragic tale. My question is, what was the opening line of the telephone answering machine? And Dean Friedman back here with question number 2 of my Mayor of Wolverhampton's charitable quiz. And the question is, in November of 1978, I performed my top 40 hit Lydia on Top of the Pops. Also on the bill was an Irish band led by a since knighted media mogul. What was the name of that media mogul? And here's question number 3. In my 1978 chart hit Lucky Stars, what meal did Lisa and I share one afternoon? And question number 4. In my 1978 chart hit Lydia, what did I leave in Lydia's apartment? Question number 5. Which one of my songs off of my third album was officially banned by the BBC for mentioning the name of a popular fast food restaurant? Here's question number 6. In 1978, I appeared on the TV show The Old Grey Whistle Test. Also appearing solo on the show was the great Elton John. He was very gracious. He told me he thought Lydia was going to be a big hit, which was very nice of him. What song did Elton John play solo on the keyboard that is 90% instrumental and has hardly any lyric? And here's question number 7. In 1992, a then unknown Canadian band with the unlikely name of Bare Naked Ladies did a cover version of one of my songs, which became one of their first airplay hits in Canada. What was the name of that song? And here's question number 8. The great punk poet John Cooper Clarke wrote a poem with the same title as the title of one of my hit songs, but he changed the name of his poem because he jokingly claimed that he wanted to avoid a lawsuit from someone who described as a ragamuffin Romeo. That was me, although I swear I never would have sued Mr. Clarke. What was the title of the song in question? Hint, it's a girl's name. And here's question number 9. During the mid-1980s, I was commissioned to write the soundtrack music for a hit TV show in Britain starring Michael Elphick and Neil Morrissey. Jim Diamond wrote the main theme song, and I wrote all the remaining incidental music and soundtrack and end credits for 5 seasons. What was the name of that TV series? And finally, Dean Friedman here with question number 10 for the Mayor of Wolverhampton's charity quiz. And the question is, in 1990, I composed the soundtrack for a low-budget horror film about a motorcycle that was possessed. It's since become a horror film classic. One of the songs I wrote for the film was titled, She Runs on Blood, Not Gasoline. What was the title of that film? The answer to question 1, which was asking for the opening line to the top 10 UK hit from 1978, about a telephone answering machine and a tragic tale. The answer is, hello, this is Joni. The answer to question 2 of my Mayor of Wolverhampton's charitable quiz. The question was, in November 1978, I performed my top 40 hit Lydia on Top of the Pops. And sharing the bill was an Irish band led by a Cincinnati media mogul. And what was his name? His name was Bob Geldof, or now known as Sir Bob Geldof. I tell you, it was a trip. A lot of fun. And the answer to question number 3, which was what meal did Lisa and I share one afternoon from my top 40 hit Lucky Stars, the answer to the question is, the meal that we shared was lunch. We had lunch this afternoon. And she was always stumbling off a cliff or something like that. And the answer to the question number 4, what did I leave in Lydia's apartment? The answer, in fact, was My toothbrush. And she was very understanding, Lydia. And the answer to question number 5, the question was, which one of my songs was banned by the BBC for mentioning a popular fast food restaurant? And the answer is McDonald's Girl. I am in love with a McDonald's girl. She has a smile of innocence, oh so tender and warm. Yes, officially banned by the BBC for mentioning a commercial trade name, although nowadays they seem to have no qualms about the matter. And the answer to question number 6, which was when I appeared on the Old Grey Whistle test, along with the great Elton John, what song did he play on the keyboard solo, which was 90% instrumental and had hardly any lyric? The answer is Song for Guy. And here's the answer to question number 7. Which was, in 1992, a then unknown band out of Canada with the unlikely name of Bare Naked Ladies did a cover version of one of my songs. What was the name of that song? It was McDonald's Girl. I am in love with a McDonald's girl. And here's the answer to question number 8. When the punk poet John Cooper Clarke wrote a poem with the same title as the title of one of my hit songs, claiming that he was trying to avoid being sued by me. What was the title of that self-same titled song? And the answer is Lydia. And he wrote a great poem about Lydia, which you should check out and hear. And so the answer to question number 9, which was, what was the name of a hit British TV show from the 1980s starring Michael Elphick and Neil Morrissey, that I wrote the soundtrack music for? Jim Diamond wrote the main opening theme song credits. I wrote all the rest of the music for 5 seasons, including the end credits. The name of that TV series was Boone, of course. And I also did this. And finally, the answer to question number 10, which was, what was the title of the horror film about a motorcycle that was possessed that I did the soundtrack for in 1990? And the answer, of course, known to horror film aficionados everywhere, is I Bought a Vampire Motorcycle. And so those are my 10 questions, and I want to wish all the best to the folks behind the Mayor of Wolverhampton's charitable fund and this charity quiz and all the good works that they do. Everybody be well, enjoy the music, and see you down the line.
Hello, my name is Dr. Miro Griffiths, and I am a research fellow in the School of Sociology and Social Policy at the University of Leeds. And this round is all about board games. So let's begin. Question 1. What are the 4 suits in a pack of cards? Question 2. The notorious figure from the American Old West, Wild Bill Hickok, was playing what game when he was shot dead? Question 3. Deep Blue was a very good player at a particular game, but who did Deep Blue famously beat? Question 4. What game features 4 characters originally named Harry, Henry, Homer, and Lizzie? Question 5. The name Jenga is derived from a word that means build in which language? Question 6. The original version of Monopoly used the streets in which American city? Question 7. How many legitimate Scrabble words can be created by adding a single letter to the end of the word date? Date. D-A-T-E. Question 8. I am going to read a rule from a popular board game. What game am I describing? This is the rule. Pieces must stay on the dark squares. Pieces must stay on the dark squares. Question 9. There is one move in a game of chess when two pieces can be moved in a single go. What are the two pieces? And question 10. What is the name of the murder victim in the UK version of Cluedo? And for a bonus point, can you name the murder victim in the US version of Cluedo, sometimes called Clue? Okay, so are we ready for the answers? Let's begin. The four suits in a pack of cards are hearts, diamonds, clubs, and spades. Wild Bill Hickok was playing poker when he was shot dead. Deep Blue was a computer program and beat Garry Kasparov at chess. Homer, Harry, Henry, and Lizzie are characters from the board game Hungry Hippos. The game Jenga derives from a word that means build in Swahili. The language Swahili. The original version of Monopoly used the streets of Atlantic City, New Jersey. And when you're playing Scrabble, the words that can be created by a single letter added to the end of date are dated, data, and dates. So that's 3. You can create 3 words. Pieces must stay on the dark squares. Well, that's a rule from the board game drafts or checkers. So if you're playing chess and you want to move 2 pieces at the same time, the move is called castle, and it involves a rook and a king. The murder victim in the UK version of Cluedo is called Dr. Black. And in the US version, the murder victim is called Mr. Body. So that completes the end of the board game round. I hope you had fun. Goodbye.
Hi, I'm Sean Aldis from Wolverhampton Homes, and we're really pleased and delighted to be here to present this evening's quiz. We have a number of questions, all cited around homes and properties. So here we go. Question number 1. Where did Sherlock Holmes live? Number 2. How many houses are there in Hogwarts? Number 3. In Roman times, if you were standing in the Collina, what room would you be in? Number 4, who lives in the White House? And it's not the one on the Tetnall Road. Number 5, what colour are the standard houses in a game of Monopoly? Number 6, the Royal Crescent is a row of 30 terraced houses in which English city? Number 7, which British superhero lived at 29 Arcacia Road? Number 8. What is the name of the Gloucestershire residence of the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall? Number 9. Graceland was the home of which US star? And number 10. What type of property makes up 20% of all properties in the UK? And for a bonus question, who lives at number 4, Privet Drive? So let's see how you've got on. So the first one is number 1. Where did Sherlock Holmes live? 221B, Baker Street, London. Number 2, How many houses are there in Hogwarts? There are 4. They are Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin. Number 3. In Roman times, if you were standing in the Collina, what room would you be in? It's it's the kitchen. Number 4. Who lives in the White House? Well, it's the US President, Joe Biden. Number 5. What colour are the standard houses in a game of Monopoly? It's green, of course. Number 6. The Royal Crescent is a row of 30 terraced houses in which English city? And that's at Bath. Number 7. Which British superhero lived at 29 Arcacia Road? Banana Man. Number 8. What is the name of the Gloucestershire residence of the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall? Highgrove House. And number 9. Graceland was the home of which US star? I bet that shook you up. It's Elvis Presley. And number 10. What type of property makes up 20% of all properties in the UK? Flats, according to the 2011 census. And finally, we had the bonus question, which was, who lives at number 4, Privet Drive? The Dursley family and Harry Potter. So thank you for your time you've taken to answer those questions, and we wish you all the best.
This section of the quiz has been created by the Arts and Culture team and is designed to test your knowledge on some of the artworks in Wolverhampton's collection. Wolverhampton Art Gallery cares for over 18,000 items of artwork and objects, ranging from items reflecting the history and geology of the Black Country to artworks and decorative objects from across the centuries. It's particularly known for its British and American pop art, its works relating to the Troubles of Northern Ireland, and artwork linked to the Black Art movement of the 1980s and 90s. We have a lively and varied programme of temporary exhibitions, and we're very proud that we'll be hosting the prestigious British Art Show next January. The British Art Show is widely recognised as a significant marker of recent developments in contemporary art in Britain. We hope you enjoy the questions and that they'll entice you to visit the art gallery. We're about to enter an exciting phase of refurbishment, but we'll be open over the summer, all being well, when we'll be presenting a wonderful family-friendly Lego exhibition called Fantasy Kingdom. Question number 1. This etching, called Blast Furnace Elizabeth, was made in 1977 by Black Country-born artist Harry Eccleston. He was fascinated by the industrial landscape around Coseley, where he was born and raised. But what was Harry Eccleston's profession? Was he A, a surgeon, B, an architect, C, a racing driver, or D, a banknote designer? Question number 2. Wolverhampton Art Gallery has one of the biggest collections of pop art in the UK, including this painting by Pauline Boty, one of the few female artists associated with pop art. Who is the subject of the painting, which is called Colour Her Gone and was painted in 1962? Is it A, Marilyn Monroe, B, Pauline Boty herself, C, Bridget Bardot, or D, Jane Fonda? Sir Charles Wheeler, who was born in Codsall and trained at Wolverhampton College of Art in the early 1900s, was the first sculptor to be appointed president of the Royal Academy of Art in 1956. Which famous London building is adorned with his work? Is it A, Buckingham Palace, B, the Bank of England, C, the Houses of Parliament, or D, St Paul's Cathedral? Question number 4. This woodcut print is called In the Black Country, and it was made in 1919 by Edward Wadsworth. Wadsworth regularly passed through the Black Country on the train from London to Liverpool, where he was employed to camouflage ships during the First World War. He was part of a group of avant-garde artists whose aim was to reflect the speed and dynamism of the modern world. What was the name of the group of artists? Were they A, the Surrealists, B, the Cubists, C, Post-Impressionists, or D, Vorticists?
Question 5. Famous English artist J.M.W. Turner passed through Wolverhampton in July 1794 and captured this bustling market scene, which is titled High Green, Wolverhampton. The painting is one of the most well-known works from our collection. But what is the Wolverhampton landmark visible in the background of the painting? Question 6. The Wolverhampton Art Gallery collection includes this maquette for a famous sculpture of the iconic ape King Kong by British pop artist Nicholas Munro. Standing at 5.5 metres tall, the full-size sculpture is much larger, but in which Midlands location was it originally installed? Question 7. Wolverhampton Art Gallery hosted the first exhibition of the UK's Black Art Group, which was titled Black Art and Done. The exhibition has a significant anniversary coming up later this year, but in what year did it take place? A. 1961, B. 1971, C. 1981, or D. 1991?
Question 8. Juan Miró is known for his interest in the unconscious or subconscious mind, reflected in his childlike imagery as depicted in his 1959 painting, Woman and Bird in Our Collection. Which Spanish city was Miró born in, which is also home to a museum of modern art named in his honour? Is it A. Madrid, B. Barcelona, C. Valencia, or D. Bilbao? Question 9. This 1769 decorative panel in our collection is attributed to Angelica Kauffmann, one of the leading neoclassical female artists of her time. Kauffmann was additionally one of the founders of which London Art School in 1768? Is it A. Chelsea College of Art and Design, B. the Slade School of Fine Art, C. Wimbledon College of Arts, or D. the Royal Academy of Arts? Question 10. Chris O'Filly came to prominence in the 90s with works combining dots of paint, collaged images, and elephant dung applied to the surface of the canvas. In 1998, O'Filly made history by becoming the first black artist to win which prestigious award?
Answer to question 1 is D. Harry Eccleston was the first full-time banknote designer for the Bank of England, responsible for the famous D series which was issued in 1970. Answer to question 2. A. This is an image of Marilyn Monroe, painted soon after her death in 1962. Unlike posed Hollywood portraits of Marilyn, Botti captures her natural femininity. Answer to question 3 is B. Charles Wheeler was the sculptor responsible for the adornment of the Bank of England. He was also responsible for many other public sculptures in London, such as the Jellicoe Memorial Fountain in Trafalgar Square. The answer to question 4 is D, the Vorticists. So in 1914, Wadsworth joined this group of artists, which had been formed by the artist and writer Wyndham Lewis.
The answer to question 5 is St Peter's Church. And the answer to question 6 is Manzoni Gardens, near the Bullring in Birmingham. The answer to question 7 is C, 1981.
The answer to question 8 is B. Barcelona. The answer to question 9 is D. the Royal Academy of Arts. The answer to question 10 is the Turner Prize Award.
Hello, I'm Satnam Sangera, and thank you for inviting me to do a round of questions for this very worthwhile quiz for a worthwhile cause. In case you don't know who I am, I'm a journalist for The Times. I've written a couple of books. I've written a memoir, The Boy with the Top Knot, which is set in Wolverhampton. I've written a novel, Marriage Material, which is also set in God's own city of Wolverhampton. And I've written a new book, which is just out, called Empire Land, which is not about Wolverhampton or set in Wolverhampton. It's about our screwed up relationship with our history of British imperialism. And it is British Empire which is the theme for my round of questions. 10 questions. Okay, number one. Number one relates to the fact that, a very commonly known fact, that British Empire was the biggest empire in human history, At its peak, British Empire covered an area covering 13.7 million square miles, which represents 24% of the globe's land area. My question is, this is also exactly twice as large as the surface area of one of the planets in the solar system. Which planet? Do you understand that? So 13.7 million square miles is the surface area of the British Empire in the 1920s, which is almost exactly twice as large as the surface area of one of the planets in our solar system. Which planet? Right. Question 2. Which famous historical figure from the 20th century said the following? We must learn from the English, who, with 250,000 men in all, govern 400 million Indians. So which famous historical figure from the 20th century said, we must learn from the English, who with 250,000 men in all, govern 400 million Indians? Question 3. Britain famously inherited Bombay, as it was known then, now Mumbai, as a dowry in the 1600s, when which monarch entered an arranged marriage with the daughter of King John IV of Portugal? And the question again is, we famously inherited Bombay as a dowry in the 1600s, when which monarch entered an arranged marriage with the daughter of King John IV of Portugal? Question 4. In which year did the Government of India Act result in the abolition of the East India Company and the supremacy of the British Crown? Again, in which year did the Government of India Act result in the abolition of the East India Company and the supremacy of the British Crown, i.e. when did the British state take over from the East India Company? Question 5. In 1877, Queen Victoria was given which title? Question 6. Which 19th century politician said the following? Remember the rights of the savage. Remember that the happiness of his humble home. Remember that the sanctity of life in the hill villages of Afghanistan is as inviolable in the eye of Almighty God as it is your own. I'm going to read that again because I read it out really badly. Question 6. Which 19th century politician said the following? Remember the rights of the savage. Remember that the happiness of his humble home. Remember that the sanctity of life in the hill or the villages of Afghanistan is inviolable in the eyes of Almighty God as is your own. It's a very difficult thing to read out. I'm sorry about that. Question 7. Which imperial figure was labelled a robber, a professor, a doctor upon the subject of a crime, a rat, a weasel, a keeper of a pigsty, wallowing in corruption? By Edmund Burke. Again, I'm sure I could read that sentence, the question out better, so I'm going to read it out better. Question 7. Who was labelled by Edmund Burke as a robber, a professor, a doctor upon the subject of crime, a rat, a weasel, a keeper of a pigsty, wallowing in corruption? Question 8. Which historian famously claimed the following? The British Empire was acquired in a fit of absence of mind. Again, question 8. Which historian famously claimed that the British Empire was acquired in a fit of absence of mind? Question 9. Where was our very first official police system tried out before being initiated in Britain in 1829? Question 9 again. Where was our very first official police system tried out before being initiated in Britain in 1829? And my final question, which famous Wolverhampton family had some involvement in the Jamaican rum industry and received from a sea captain a present of a Sierra Leonean child slave whom they named George John Scipio Africanus? They proceeded to educate the slave. Number 10. Which famous Wolverhampton family had some involvement in the Jamaican rum industry and received from a sea captain a present, a Sierra Leonean child slave who they named George John Scipio Africanus, who they proceeded to educate? Okay, that's the end of my quiz questions. I hope you've all not struggled with them too much. Thank you. Hello, I'm back with my answers to my round of questions on British Empire. So question 1. The British Empire covered a surface area of 13.7 million square miles, which is almost exactly twice as large as the surface area of Pluto. Pluto is the answer. But if you excluded Pluto, because you know that there is some debate in astronomical circles about whether Pluto is actually a planet, I think you still get a point. Okay, so you get a point if you get Pluto, but you also get a point if you excluded Pluto and came up with another answer because you're aware that it is a controversial. It's controversial to conclude that it's a planet. The rest of the answers are going to be more simple. Question 2. Which famous historical figure said we must learn from the English who, with a quarter of a million men in all, governed 400 million Indians? It was Adolf Hitler. Question 3. We famously inherited Bombay as a dowry. Which monarch was it who got it? It was Charles II. He got it as a result of an arranged marriage with Catherine of Braganza, the daughter of King John IV of Portugal. In which year, question 4, in which year did the Government of India Act result in the abolition of the East India Company and the supremacy of the British Crown? It was 1858, which was the year after the Indian Mutiny or the Indian Uprising. Question 5, in 1877, Queen Victoria was given which title? The title was the Empress of India. Sometimes people think she was the Empress overall, but she was the Empress very specifically of India. Question 6, which 19th century politician said, remember the rights of the savage, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to repeat that difficult speech. It was William Gladstone, a man who would probably be regarded as woke today because he did oppose many elements of British Empire. Question 7, who was labelled by Edmund Burke a robber, a professor, a doctor upon the subject of a crime, a rat, a weasel, a keeper of a pigsty, walling in corruption? It was Warren Hastings, one of the early governors of India. Question 8. Which historian famously claimed that the British Empire was acquired in a fit of absence of mind? The answer is Sir John Seeley, the founding father of British imperial history, in his book The Expansion of England. So it's Sir John Seeley. Question 9. Where was our very first official police system tried out before being initiated in Britain in 1829? The answer is Ireland. And fingerprinting around the same time was being developed in India before it was brought over here. And the final question, which famous Wolverhampton family had some involvement in the rum industry and received a charred slave from Sierra Leone whom they named George John Scipio Africanus? You could have guessed this. It's the Molyneux family, the great Molyneux family. So there you are. I hope you got some of them right, and I hope you're having a nice evening. Thank you very much.
I'm Dr. Martin Kashara from the University of Wolverhampton and the fantastic STEM response team, and this is our science round. What happens next? This is question 1. There's a bottle here. It seems to be full of water. There's a bit of a float at the top. You can see that just buoying at the top. What about if we squeeze it? Question 2. We've got an apparatus here, some paraphernalia. In this tube is a small piece of cotton wool. There's a sliding sort of collar that goes over the top, and we can assemble it by putting it over this sort of projection from this piece of wood. We've got here a piston. That fits very tightly into this tube. What would happen if we smash that piston down on top of that cotton wool? Question 3. We've got some salt and some pepper in this saucer. We've had a bit of a culinary accident, it seems. But how can we use this balloon to separate them again? Question 4. We've got 2 large ball bearings here made of steel. Now, there's a lot going on here, but what happens when we bash them together really hard? Question 5. A balloon. A red one this time. But what happens if we stick this sharp kebab skewer right into it? Question 6. We've got some liquid here in a glass and a saucer. Oh, our scientist there. We spilt the water. This coloured water. It could be a nice drink in that saucer. Damn it! How are we going to get that back in the glass? Just using a candle. Question 7. We've got a bottle here. It's a 2-litre plastic bottle and some matches. The lid for the bottle. Now our scientist is going to strike a couple of matches and just put them out. And this bottle is slightly wet inside, I can see as well. Now those matches are smoking a little bit inside, and the top is done up nice and tightly, as you can see. Now, I wonder what happens when we give that bottle a good hard squeeze. Question 8. A good old-fashioned slinky. Now, I wonder, you can hear it's making a bit of a noise. When I drop it on the floor here, nothing really much happens, does it? But if we use a little bit of extra, this is a paper cup. Now, scientist here, he's just gonna squeeze it inside that slinky. But what happens now when we drop that slinky? Question 9. Ha! Here's our scientist. Hello! Ah, he's got a balloon. And a piece of plastic from a bin bag. Now, what's going to happen next? He's rubbing it on his head. He's rubbing the plastic and the balloon on his head. But what happens when we put them together? Wait and see. Question 10. Now, this is another balloon. It seems like it's got some water inside. You can see that sloshing about in there if you look closely. Now, I wonder what would happen if we took a lighter and put a flame under this balloon. Wait and see. Okay, here's the answers to the STEM Response Team Science Round. Question 1. Now, what you're seeing here is something called a Cartesian diver. In that float at the top, there's just enough air to make it float right at the top of the bottle. But when we squeeze the bottle, because it's full of water, the water can't be compressed, but the air can be, and so it becomes less buoyant and sinks. Question 2. This is an experiment called the fire piston. We compress the air inside, and what happens is we get smoke and fire. Question 3. Now, we're using good old triboelectricity or static electricity here, and this is a classic school experiment where we separate salt and pepper using just static attraction. So we build up a static charge on the balloon by rubbing it on the tablecloth there, and that static charge attracts the lighter pepper to the balloon, and we can separate the two. Fantastic. Question 4. Now, when we bang our two ball bearings together, there is a lot of potential energy that is changed into kinetic energy. That energy is released as heat, and it heats up to over 200 degrees and actually burns holes in the paper. Question 5. This is a fantastic experiment called the balloon kebab. Now, the rubber on a balloon has different properties depending on where it is. So this balloon isn't blown up all the way, and where we tie the balloon is a little bit more rubbery than the outsides, and it's also a little bit more rubbery at the top. So when we stick the skewer through these areas, the polymers that make up the rubber of the balloon, those chains seal around the kebab stick, and the balloon just doesn't burst. Fantastic. Question 6. Now, this is a classic dinner party trick that some of you might have already seen. And what we can do is put a burning candle into the centre of the liquid, which is in the saucer. Now, when we put the glass back over the top of there, the heat reduces the atmospheric pressure inside the glass, and the actual fire on the candle uses up the oxygen inside there, effectively creating a vacuum. So the liquid is drawn back up into the glass. Question 7. This is a really good experiment that actually shows the effect of pollution on formation of clouds. Now, clouds are formed from water droplets that gather around the outside of pollution and dust particles in the atmosphere. The smoke from the matches allows water vapour to actually condense. Question 8. This is the Slinky in the Cup experiment, and actually what we get here is real sounds being made that sound a little bit like what we might hear in Star Wars. The vibrations, the resonance, if you like, of the slinky hitting the floor is transmitted up the metal and through the cup, and the cup acts as a speaker to give us these fantastic noises. Question 9. This is a favourite one of mine. I call it the anti-gravity plastic. And actually, when we rub the balloon and the plastic on our hair, it gets the same charge, which is a negative charge. So, just like two poles of a magnet, they repel each other. And so, the plastic actually floats. Isn't that absolutely amazing? Thank you very much. Question 10. This is the non-bursting balloon experiment. Now, when we put the flame under that balloon, something fantastic is going to happen. Because the water is a really great heat sink, and it disperses the heat from that flame. But don't leave it there too long, otherwise it's going to burst eventually. Well, that's all from the STEM response team and Dr. Martin Kashara. We hope to see you all soon. Check us out on our social media channels or our website, and we hope to see you at the University of Wolverhampton soon.
Hello, Claire. This is Bobby Davro and Vicky. Bobby Davro, the only entertainer from the 80s that hasn't been arrested.
Yes.
Yes. It is me, look, under the glasses. But now we're at this age.
I'm Vicky Rice. I'm Vicky Rice.
And I have to wear glasses. Well, we both have to wear glasses because I'm pushing 60.
You're pulling it.
Yeah, we're dragging it actually. It's the gag. Don't educate with Jakes. But 60 is a new 30. Remember that? Yeah, try saying that to speed cameras on the M25. Okay, we have 10 questions each.
10 questions
and Vicky is going to roll out the first question. So take it away, the lovely Victoria Wright.
So I'm going to start my 10 questions, not the answers yet.
Can I try and answer them? Because I haven't heard them.
As long as you don't say the right answers. 'cause-
I might not get the right
Oh,
answers, will I? Because I ain't exactly clever, am I?
Well,
I mean,
we'll
crikey, if I took two guesses of which way a lift would go, I'd probably get it wrong. Tough crowd. Okay, off we go then. First question.
First question. Question number 1. What nut is in the middle of a Ferrero Rocher chocolate?
What nut is in the middle of a Ferrero Rocher? I never know. I don't eat the nuts. I just suck the chocolate off.
Not too difficult.
Like that.
Question number 2.
Number 2.
And this is all about tennis.
Oh, you're nuts about tennis, aren't
I
you?
love my tennis.
New balls. Haven't used. I won't do that one. Carry on.
Question number 2. Which major tournament did Serena Williams win whilst being pregnant with her first child? Which major tournament? You're not so up on tennis.
No, I'm not really very good at tennis.
Trying to make it general.
Is it a different country to England?
It is, yeah.
Okay, I will have a guess it might be France, but I might be wrong. It might be daring.
Question number 3.
Number 3 coming up.
Right, my mother was in a wonderful singing group called the Beverly Sisters.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
I'll get this one.
And her name was Joy. Now, she had 2 twin sisters that stood either side of her.
Sisters.
There were never
All
such
devoted
twins.
sisters.
So, but the question is the twins. I need the 2 names of both my mother's twin sisters. So it was Joy and her twin sisters. What were the... I need both names.
Both
The
names.
twins' names, yeah.
One is not good enough.
Both. That's question number 3.
That's it.
Okay, question number 4. This is pop music. We're trying to sort of do
Pop
it.
music.
And this is George Michael's first...
George Michael, of course. I'm doing Jules Holland. Not George Michael. Jules Holland. I'm doing on this side of the studio. Question number 4.
George Michael's first solo hit.
I know the answer to this one.
probably
Can I
do.
give him a clue?
Yeah.
He dropped his chocolate bar. That's a great clue.
Okay, all right,
George
just leave it there.
Michael.
Leave it there. So George Michael's first solo
Died
hit.
on Christmas
Question
Day, you know.
number
They
4.
sad, they sad.
Question number 5.
Yeah.
I've mentioned my mother, so I'm going to mention my father now. And Claire knows all about.
We all know the great Billy Wright. Should have been a Sir Billy Wright, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And the day we were recording this would be his 96th birthday.
Yeah. 6th of February
Lovely, 6th
today.
of
Dad's
February.
birthday. So
Happy
cheers, Dad.
birthday, Billy.
Cheers, Dad.
Good old Wolves. Good team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can be in Europe next year if there's a war.
All right, here we go.
Lots of few Wolves fans there.
So
Right.
the question number 5.
Ding down. I'll see the answer to the next one.
Okay, question number 5. So my dad was the wonderful, great footballer Billy Wright.
Exactly right.
Now he held a record. He was the first man in the world,
Yes.
to do what?
I know the answer to this one. I bet all the people from Wolves will know the answer to this one.
They will. They will.
They say rub his foot. Well, every time we go to Montneu, he rub his little foot outside there, the statue. He was a wonderful man, and he gave me my beautiful, beautiful girlfriend,
Thank
who I
you.
love very much. Thank you, Billy.
And I miss him very much. So that's question number 5. Question number 6. This is a funny one.
Oh, good.
How many of the 7 dwarfs' names
7 12. Take it out.
end in a Y? So name me how many of the 7 dwarfs' names end in a Y. Okay. that's not
It might
too
be a trick
difficult.
question because being in COVID now, Sneezy's not allowed. Sneezy's not allowed. But there you go, that's one for you. You can include Sneezy.
Right, leave it there.
And there's another 4.
Okay. Question number 7. Bit more highbrow this one.
Yeah, okay.
Could you
Highbrow.
name me, please, Shakespeare's longest play? Longest play.
Are we allowed to say it? If it's the one you're not allowed to say, they'll be a bit stuffed on this question, but that probably isn't because
Question number 8.
8.
So the best, most famous hit was Sisters. It was written by Irving Berlin, but that's not my question. My question is, what movie did that song come from? It was
I know
featured
it.
in a very famous
I do.
Hollywood movie. And so I'd like the answer to that. That's number 8.
Yes.
Nearly there. Number 9.
Thank goodness.
Number 9. You'll like this one. We used to watch this as kids. Thunderbirds.
Love it.
Thunderbirds. So in
Da-da-da-dum.
Thunderbirds,
Hi there, Mr. Tracy.
Thunderbirds.
Yes,
We need to
Right.
know, or I need to know, what was the name of Lady Penelope's chauffeur?
yes. There you go.
So number 10.
Number
Number
10.
10, we thought the question would relate to us. So you don't know this question
Yes.
that I've done, but it relates to me and Bobby. So the question is, which ocean surrounds the Maldives? Because for my 50th birthday, you took me there. And it
Yes,
was the
yes.
most incredible holiday.
Yeah, and then for 60th, I went and picked her up.
So I just need to know what ocean
I know what
surrounds
ocean.
that beautiful island.
I know what
There are my
potion is.
10 questions.
Very good questions, I might say. We'll see that with a little drink.
And
To
then-
all of you raising money for, is it suicide? I think it is.
Yes, Susan. And
Well done, Claire. And good luck with those first 10 questions. You've got mine to come up in a minute. Part 2. Oh, good. Hello, and welcome back to part 2 of the Vicky and Bobby question time. Bobby Davro's next 10 questions. I hope you're doing very well. And we're raising money for suicide, which is fantastic. So lots of donations. We'll be passing a bucket round, do you reckon?
Hopefully.
That's it. Here's a gag dib. I'm not going to do it. Right, my first question. Who is the wealthiest man in the world? The wealthiest man in the world. It was somebody, but that was for a few years, and now it's somebody else. I just read this in the news recently. It's not me, unfortunately.
So this question's still appropriate, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Who is the current wealthiest man in the world?
I don't know that.
That's a tester, isn't it?
Okay.
Oh, there's a bit of a clue there. Bit of a clue. Nearly a clue. Right. Question number 2. What year did Elvis Presley die? What year did he die?
Oh, I know this one.
The great Elvis Presley. You know what? You didn't know this, but my father was one of the greatest Elvis impressionists ever lived.
Was it?
Yes, and wasn't much call for it in 1935. I had a pet mouse called Elvis, but he died.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he was caught in a trap. Question number 3.
Will we ever get to number 10
Will we
is
ever
what
get
I'm
to-
wondering.
I'm wondering. Ah, dear. I did EastEnders, and my girlfriend was Shirley. It's going back about 10 years, but what was my character called? What was the name of my character? Now, you can have the first name. I'll allow the first name.
Yeah, good question.
Good question. I can't even remember. But then again, you know, I'm going a
Characters
bit...
change so quickly,
They
don't they?
do,
these
don't
things,
they?
but-
Indeed.
Yep, okay. That's
Shirley Cart was my girlfriend, and I was somebody.
your character's name.
My character's
Okay.
name. Just the first name, or you can have both names. Don't matter. Don't win any extra points. Question number 4. What is the hottest planet? I'll do this as your favourite.
Oh, you
Brian Cox. I'm going to do Brian Cox because she loves Cox. Brian Cox. She loves Brian Cox. And the question is amazing, is what is the hottest planet in our solar system? 8 planets in our solar system.
Okay.
What is the hottest planet? Okay. What one are we on? Question number 5. What this was Chris Tarrant. Which prehistoric... what have you written down? She's written this down. I don't understand a word of it. I have to take this to the chemist tomorrow, have it made up. Be a cure for COVID. Which
prehistoric?
Thank you. Prehistorical town did the Flintstones live in?
Ah.
I used to love the Flintstones.
Yeah.
Meet the Flintstones. And a yabba dabba do time.
Good, yeah.
That's it. Okay, which prehistorical town did the Flintstones live in? If you sing the song,
It's got that in the song, yeah. I was just going to say that.
Okay.
Number 6?
Number 6. I've chosen this one because I like to hear Ozzy Osbourne. Sharon, who have you heard about? I've just been trying to write my autobiography, right? But the trouble is, I can't find anyone that knows what I've been doing for the last 25 years. Anyway, Ozzy Osbourne was born in the Midlands.
He was?
Yes, in Birmingham, I think, And he was a lead singer in what heavy metal band? Ozzy Osbourne. Because he's just joined a new band, the Everly Brothers. Yeah, Don Everly, Phil Everly, and me drinks Everly. Question number 7.
This is Donald Trump. Donald Trump question, okay? Donald J. Trump.
What does the J stand for?
What does the J stand for? Jackass? No.
Is that the question?
Yeah. What does the J stand for?
Jerk? No.
Jerk?
Joke.
No, jerk's good. Jerk's good. Genius. He probably would
This
say
is a
that.
genuine question.
It's a genuine question. Donald J. Trump, his middle name, please. What does the J stand for? That was question number 7. Question number 8.
Oh, your favourite.
Oh, yeah, no. I've chosen this for Claire. Claire, the moment I met you, I swear, you ruined your father's best chair. Do-do-do-do-do. Lovely. And he had another hit as well called Get Down. Get told you once before, and I won't tell you no more. Get down, get down, get down. God, no, not a bad singer.
That's good. I know who it is.
Yes, you know who it is because he's one of my best friends. I'm name dropping here.
Is that the question?
No, it's not the question. Who is he? Who wrote and had big hits with Claire, 1972? I think it was 1972.
Great song.
Or I think it was 72, 73. And Claire and Get Down.
So
two
what's the name of the
consecutive.
songwriter?
We
Yeah.
want the songwriter. He's from Ireland.
That's question number...
And he was a lovely man, and I love him very much.
That's question number...
Number 8.
That's
That was.
number 8, okay.
Question number 9. Which famous American comedian is the voice of the genie in Aladdin Disney's version, of course. Hey, don't be fighting. Hey, we can wreck and roll and work and get the ball and really. Oh, don't be fighting, Mindy. Wow, nice tits. What was his name? Of course, he was a great comedian. Sadly, he passed away. It's very relevant if you're raising money for suicide. That was another little clue, probably an easy one, but I wanted to include him. So the name of the actor that played in that film, played the genie, did the animation, the voice. And this is 10. Question number 10, which I've related. We decided we've got a bit of chemistry going, haven't we? You can tell. There we go.
I think it's going to be a nice one.
Yes, well, I'm a sex symbol, aren't I? Trouble is, the symbol is a question mark. My beautiful girlfriend, to my left here, or to your right if you're looking at this, because it's okay. My beautiful girlfriend was a member of a popular singing band herself when I met her 20, how many years ago?
30, actually.
30,
right.
30 years ago. Yeah. And they had their own band with your cousin,
my cousin
Sasha,
yeah.
and your lovely sister,
Lovely
Babette.
sister Babette.
And they had a little group, and they were a singing group, who were very, very good. Not quite as good as the Beverleys. You didn't get the success, but you were good. You were good. And how many albums did you sell? About 2 million albums they sold. Incredible. And if you don't believe it, look in a garage. It's got about 2 million albums. And they were a wonderful singing act. And we weren't boyfriend and girlfriend there, but we want the name of the act.
Oh, the name of my band?
Yeah, the name of the band.
Okay.
Yeah, you were in a band, weren't you? And can I give them a clue? Little, right, well, they're popular British
No, just leave it
creatures.
There. Leave it there. Leave it there.
Snakes or something.
Leave it there.
Anyway, that's my question. We want the name. They'll remember. No phoning, if anyone of you know us individually, no phoning up to try and get the answers. Right, no cheating. And there are 10 questions.
So you've had mine, you've had Bobby's.
Yeah.
So good luck.
Good luck.
And we'll see you in a minute with the answers.
And we will be back in 5 minutes with the answers. Where's the little clicker thing? Oh, I'll put it down now, I can't find it. I'll turn it off here. And action.
Welcome back. And these are the answers for my 10 questions. So, answer to question number 1 is hazelnut.
Hazelnut.
The answer to question number 2, the Australian Open.
Flaming galah. G'day, mate.
The answer to question number 3, Teddy and Babs.
Teddy and Babs.
My lovely aunties.
Yeah.
The answer to question number 4, Careless Whisper.
Careless Whisper.
Wonderful, wonderful. You wrote that when you were 17, I think.
Fantastic.
Answers to question number 5. Billy Wright was the first man in the world to get 100 caps.
To get 100 caps. 105 all in all.
Yeah.
In fact, he got a few more, but it was a war, wasn't it? They didn't count.
But
so.
that's incredible, isn't it?
And he's
the first man ever in the world.
To everyone else, he's a hero, but to you,
he's just my dad.
He's just your dad.
And what a great one he was.
Yes.
Answer to question number 6. 5 is the answer.
5. Can you name them?
Well, can you?
Right, well, it's Sneezy.
Yeah.
Dopey. Randy? Was he one? No, which one? Dopey, Sneezy.
Grumpy.
Snoozy.
Sleepy. And?
Oh, the other
Happy.
one. Happy.
So 5.
5
of them. So which ones weren't in that case? Doc and...
what's
the other one?
Hillary.
Okay.
Dr. Hillary.
That'll do. Answer to number 7.
Which is?
Hamlet.
The one about the cigars.
So that was it, yeah.
Ding, ding.
Answer to number 8.
Yes.
White Christmas.
I'm dreaming
And that was the film.
of a white Christmas.
Bing Crosby, yeah.
Bing Crosby.
Yeah. White Christmas. And
who sung it in the film?
I think it was Rosemary Clooney. But Danny Kaye...
was Rosemary Clooney George Clooney's mum?
Auntie, I think. Auntie. But I think Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye did a spoof of the girls singing it with feathers and sisters. And so Irving Berlin came over to England and offered the Beds that song. And they didn't really want to do it because they thought it was a bit cheesy. They said, we don't want to sing about ourselves. Sisters, we want to do a romantic song and something that would be...
if they had gone cheddar,
so they wanted to put it on
really
a
cheesy.
B-side. Yeah, they wanted to put it... But they wanted to put it on a B-side.
Okay. Anyway, the answer is...
White Christmas.
White Christmas to question number 8.
Okay, question number 9. The answer to
Here
question number 9. Parker.
Oh, I loved it.
Parker.
Yes, milady. Lady Parker.
Penelope's chef.
Yes, Lady Penelope.
And the
Had a
answer.
big nose, didn't it? Looked like he was eating a banana. And he was, do you remember his profession before he was working? Oh, this is a good one. Should have included this one. What was his profession? This isn't part of the quiz, by
Not
the way.
chauffeur, you mean?
No, before he was a chauffeur to Lady Penelope.
Do you know?
I do. He was a safecracker.
Wow,
Yeah, he was criminal. He was a
Is that
safecracker.
Brucey bonus?
It was Lucy Bonus, dear.
Very good to know that. Okay, number 10, answer to number 10.
Number 10.
The Indian Ocean.
We had the most fantastic
Beautiful.
holiday. Yeah, do you remember that?
Surrounds
So
the
romantic.
Maldives. It was absolutely paradise there.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So
And
right.
Harry Bobby's answers.
And these are my answers. We'll carry on till we won't have a pause. Okay, these are questions. The answer to question 1. The current wealthiest man in
no,
the
you
world.
don't say the questions.
Oh, sorry.
Start again.
Okay, I'll start again. That was me going backwards on the tape. Answer number 1 is Elon Musk, the current wealthiest man in the world. And the answer to number 2 is 1977. I was in Bournemouth.
I was in Bournemouth.
Yeah, and we were in the same street.
Not together,
We didn't,
though.
not together. I was with someone else.
We had our first sort of holiday, my sister and my cousin.
Isn't it weird that we were there at the same time? Yeah. Poor old Elvis. God bless him. 1977. Answer number 3. What's my character? Vinny Monks. Vinny Monks. You get a point if you get the Vinny, and you don't get an extra point if you get Monks. But
Vinny Monks.
wasn't I the lucky one, eh? God, I should have got a BAFTA for kissing
How
her.
many got that one?
Oh,
Good question. I
probably
like that one.
Now,
Right.
the answer to number 4. Now, a lot of people would have gone for the nearest planet, the Sun, but it's not Mercury. It is, in fact, Venus. Because Venus has a carbon dioxide atmosphere, and it's a rocky planet, and not a lot of people. Cox. Venus. Okay. Answer number 4. Answer number 5. Where did they live? Bedrock. Yeah, Flintstones. Meet the Flintstones. What was it?
From the town of Bedrock,
there's a yabba do time. Oh yeah, yeah. What was the name of the his wife?
Wilma.
Do you remember that?
Barney Rubble.
Barney Rubble.
Anyway, come on.
Okay, answer number 6 was Black Sabbath. Sharon, Black Sabbath.
Sabbath?
Now, Donald J. Trump. The J stands for. Answer number 7. John. You know that, did you? Not Jerk or Jackass. John.
Quite a plain.
Genius geography could be anything you like, okay? It doesn't count anymore, it doesn't count.
Number 8. Answer is Gilbert O'Sullivan. The greatest songwriter in the world, I think. I'm a bit biased because he's one of my heroes. Gilbert O'Sullivan, Claire, lovely jubbly, and lots of other wonderful songs. Answer number 9. Hey everybody, it's me, Robin Williams. Robin Williams, don't be frightened. Hey. I almost look like him a little bit. Take the glass. Hey everybody, wow, secret, fantastic. Okay.
What a great
impression.
Lars, really.
Hey, who am I doing now? Who am I doing? Hey, what are you doing? You think it's funny? Joe Pesky, yeah, that kind. It's not Joe Pesky. The answer to
Number 9 is Robin Williams. An answer to the final question, number 10. Popular singer, my beautiful girlfriend was in. I do, of course I do.
I know you do. I'm asking the public.
Well,
You're
they
very
might
impressed
they
if you
might have
do.
cheated and looked you up in Google or something. But
Maybe.
the answer is, you tell them.
We were called the Foxes.
The Foxes or the Little
We
Foxes.
started off Little Foxes from Elizabeth Taylor was in a play called The Little
As you can
Foxes.
see, they were a lot bigger. So
we were the Foxes, yeah. So well done, there are our answers.
And she's still very foxy, don't you think? Yes.
So
She
good
goes,
luck. I
she
hope
goes through
you-
the bins at night time.
Oh,
Let me finish the
okay.
joke. Anyway, that's our answers and questions from myself and Vicky. Come on, you talk a bit. I'm gabbling away, I am.
I'm trying to.
I know, I'm sorry. Don't get a word
So
in.
Claire, I hope that's okay, and good luck to everybody. Let us know how it goes, and from us, stay safe.
Stay safe, stay happy. And remember, this COVID stuff, it'll all be finished next year, and we'll all be laughing about
We'll
it.
get through it.
We'll all be laughing about it this time next year. Well, we'll all be laughing about it, won't we? Some of them.
Okay. We'll say bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Raise lots of money, Claire. Okay, I think we've turned the video off. Let's get at it.